Hello everyone. I saw that the Division 2 was announced. I was a bit late to talk about it as I was busy with other things. The Division 2 raises some concerns to me based on my experiences with the Division 1. In the Division 1, there was a lot of things that went wrong at the very start. They, of course, tried to fix it, but there were still problems along the way. I remember one of the biggest issues that was around when I was playing was the crafting. Someone did the math on it at the time I was playing, and they said that you can craft something 5,000 times and not get what you want. That made it so the only people who were in the Dark Zone or whatever it was called was the people who had 1,000+ hours to spend on the game. They were the only people that could get the gear necessary to compete with other people. On the note of gear, the Division 1 had, I guess you can say, a stale build. People went either firearms and stamina or electronics and stamina. That was it. You never really saw any variation beyond that. There was no hybrid builds, there was no real crazy things. I blame that on the equipment as well as the skill system. There was not a lot of skills to work with. Then another one I can give is the ping pong effect. Weapons went back and forth over the courses of the patches. One weapon would be strong, and the next month it wasn't, and it just went back and forth. I would have liked to see more consistency. Then the last thing I want to talk about is the overall weapon listing. If I'm understanding this correctly, the division is the last line of defense. There's other agencies mixed in there, such as the JTF, local law enforcement, and others. In this scenario, there's been a catastrophic attack on the United States. So if I understand this all correctly, then these weapons should be fitting with the story. I'm not saying you have to go super realistic, but I am saying that there's some pretty obvious mistakes in here, at least to me. For those that aren't able to see them, I'll go and point them out real quickly. I won't go through all of them, but just enough so you get the idea. The 5.86 Magnum. I can understand using Magnums in this scenario, or revolvers, I should say, but keep in mind that police departments do not use high caliber bullets. At one point in time, the police did use 357 Magnum, and that was the furthest they went. For the most part, as police departments use the 9mm equivalent for the revolver, the 38 Special. So that doesn't make sense right there. Then there's other things like the PX4 Storm. The PX4 Storm is by definition a self-defense pistol. It is not a main combat pistol. That is what the M9 was designed for. The M9 could go through tons of abuse and still fire. The PX4 Storm is just too fragile. Let's look at some other examples real quickly. Oh, the double barrel shotgun. I would never trust a double barrel shotgun. If I'm going to be using a shotgun, even in that scenario, I would make sure that it has a tube or a magazine of some sort. I don't mind old weapons being in games, but only when they fit the story. Thompson is another example. By today's standard, this is too heavy of a machine gun. Given how mobile the division is, this would be a nightmare to carry around. then this is a problem of all categories, is this copy and pasting going on. By copying and pasting, I mean, look at how many different models of one weapon there is. Look, there's a lightweight M4, uh, a exotic M4, LVOAC M4. So why? If you're going to be copying and pasting like that, just add another weapon. The M16 would be perfect in this scenario. The M16 was used at one point by military and police. It is easy to maintain and manufacture even in a catastrophic scenario. Then the machine guns, mm, I guess if there's military involved, I could see that being there. But even the military is moving away from machine guns. They're going to the LSWs, light support weapons, or light machine guns is another name for it. The United States has been experimenting with the LSAT machine gun, well, light machine gun, spelled LSAT. It uses the 6.5 millimeter telescopic ammunition. Then the United States has also been using the M27 IAR, which is a Heckler and Koch rifle. The latest development with that one is a polymer drum magazine to increase its rounds to 60. That kind of stuff I can understand if it's being used outside the military. I do see a day when police may use something like the M27 IAR, or for that matter, other law enforcement agencies. But a full-on machine gun, I don't see this really happening. But regardless, if you're going to put it in the game, same thing applies. Don't copy and paste, and also separate these categories. The light machine gun shares a similar problem to designated marksman rifles, in which you have two different weapon categories in the same list. An example down here is the Mark 20. The Mark 20 is a real life version, designated marksman of the SCAR, but that's a designated marksman rifle. Something like the Remington 700, that's a true sniper right there. So the Mark 20 should be separated from the 700. Then they should also get rid of this crap right here. What is an M1A and an M44 carbine doing as a sniper? I would expect to see at least the Barrett MRAD, JTAC Intervention, or SSG-08. Those right there are classic examples of a true sniper. So yeah, that's the most that I really have on this. Hopefully I explained it well. If not, comment and I'll do my best to explain. Thanks for listening.